And we thank everybody for taking the time out. This is Russ Curran and Frank Corbett for Something Software Incorporated going through our compensation program. So let me get this fired up. Now first, guys, let me start with our first and most popular associate level, and that's the Business Development Associate. So what is a Business Development Associate? That is an associate who becomes involved with us because they are interested in not only obviously bettering their life, but bettering the lives of charities and businesses that they have knowledge of, contacts with, or relationships with. So they want to get involved because they want to go enroll those businesses, charities, white label partners, or potentially celebrities to bring them into our franchise so that we can enrich people's lives through our program and help ourselves at the same time. Okay, so that's the first level of our program and the most popular level. What are the requirements for that? Very simply, obviously we want to make sure it's a good fit. So it's an interview with Frank, myself, or a qualified associate, somebody on the advisory panel, somebody who's experienced in our processes. It's a signed associate agreement for that particular level, and it's an order of business cards, one time. Those are the very, very simple requirements to become involved with our program. And as soon as that happens, that business development associate is qualified to go out and enroll a charity, business, celebrity, or white label partner, or any combination thereof. And when they do that, they will instantly, once the business, let's pick a business. So once that business gets involved, they get their staff going, their staff starts playing. So as soon as points are being earned, that associate is earning commissions on those points. It is instant, okay? I think there was a little confusion in the beginning when we introduced the additional layer of compensation, not a change, but an additional layer with the executive and player associates, which I'll go through in a minute, where people were thinking it was required for people to qualify for an executive level before they were paid on their own efforts in enrolling a charity or business. That is not the case. We never changed the original comp plan. That is intact and will always be that way. So the point is, as soon as you become a qualified business development associate and you meet these two requirements that are right on the board I just went through, and you enroll your first charity and they get players on and start gifting, you are earning commissions. And as soon as those commissions hit $25 or more over that 2-week period, or it's accrued when you do hit it, it will be paid out to your iPayout Global e-wallet account instantly, okay, every 2 weeks like clockwork. So I want to make sure that's very, very clear. And the match on enrolling your own charity, business, white label, partner, or celebrity is 100% matching points on the first level. Excuse me one second. Sorry about that. Okay, so what can I earn as a business development associate? Well, let's do some math. Let's look at some numbers. Let's just say you became involved as an associate, and within your first month, you got busy. You got right into it. You attended the webinars. You get into the training. You're working with the person who brought you in, and you're learning exactly how things work. So you enroll a couple of charities, and you enroll a couple of businesses. Okay, this is your individual effort. And over the first month or two, and now we know what the clear expectations are when we are enrolling a charity or business, right? Frank Corbett does a great job on every Monday night laying this out, and the training is getting better and better with everything we learn, and we feel like we've got it dialed in now, right? So we're not going to be accepting an agreement from a charity or business or white label partner without clear expectations. So the assumption is when they sign that agreement and we accept it, that they're working with us on the blueprint for the model that we know works for driving players to their business or charity and in turn helping them make money, okay? So with that said, over the first 30 days we get it up, we get it rolling, and these are the numbers posted for charity number 1, 100 players playing for the month. Charity number 2, a little bit bigger, 1,000. He's got a small sports bar and then he's got a larger sports bar going. Look at the numbers that can be generated. $750 in matching commissions on Charity 1 because, again, this associate personally enrolled these charities and businesses. $7,500 on Charity number 2. Business number 1, $3,750. Business number 2, 15,000, because these are matching direct to you. Now, some of these components, obviously, and when you hit executive, there'll be additional commissions into this, which we'll go over in a minute, from the 4 levels deep, right? The 50%, the 25, the 10. This is just direct first level because these are the businesses and charities you enrolled. So for the month, you have the potential from these 4 organizations to earn $27,000 with the appropriate players, playing with our assumptions of a 10,000 plus daily audience, right? We know that, and we're going to get there quickly with everything that's just happened and is happening with our company. All points gifted for charities. Now, businesses are a little bit different, and we're just starting that right now, but for a business, and I don't want to get too off track, but for a business, as soon as the business and staff are signing up customers, and those customers are playing and answering questions correctly, that business gets paid automatically. In other words, the mechanism of gifting is not required for a business to be paid because they're 2 different environments, 2 different models, okay? However, every customer that comes through a business will still, every player always gets charity points. So when, and the staff will be trained, hey, don't forget to use those gift points and send them to X charity. We got a great connection with them locally. We're really helping them out. So when they're doing that, the charities are going to make even more money. So these numbers are going to go up as a result of that, right? So keep that in mind. But just off these, yes.
I'd love to add right here one other key factor. Everybody, I think, on the call knows this, but because it's a training call, want to make sure it's clear that this is the money coming into the sales staff. So if somebody did this by themselves, as Russ was explaining, this would be the $27,000 is what their monthly pay would be if that scenario played out. If they had a 50-50 split with another salesperson for each of those deals, then it would have been half of that, or 80-20, or if there are 3 people involved, whatever it is, that would be the total dollars for, and each one of those deals could have had a different split. So we're trying to keep it simple, as if it's just one person, so the concept's easy to follow. But just remember, teams, when they have splits, would divide that particular income.
Yes, thanks for calling it out, Frank. Okay, so again, the assumptions, 10,000 plus people playing per day and rolling and over. All gift points by charities gifted, so which triggers the commissions. And of course, at that number, our projected 25 cents per player for the 10 to 15 to 20 minutes will definitely be there once we're over this number and rolling, okay? We've already been close to this already, and it goes up and down because our audience hasn't been at this level yet. But once it hits 10,000 and over, this will be a very solid conservative number, okay? So these numbers are very, very, the projected numbers here are very real. Let's move on. Okay, next level of associate is the executive associate. And in this example, so for the executive associate, they were a business development associate or a player associate. They could come from either way, because a player associate, even though they come in with no intention to enroll charities or businesses in the beginning, they may have a change of heart somewhere throughout the course of their life with us here at SSI. So it can come from either direction, but for the most part, they'll be coming from being a business development associate. Now, when they hit the simple qualifications to become an executive, one time, okay, once they qualify, it's for life, okay, then they're going to achieve all this. So let me explain what it is, because I think there was some confusion here. So just to get this straight, and by the way, we will take questions and answers at the end as well. So Bob is, let's just say currently, he's a business development associate. Bob puts in a little bit of effort, and he enrolls Pete, okay, over here on the right side. Pete goes and gets John. Now, Pete could have John in his sights himself, or Bob may be helping Pete, right, by saying, well, I got another guy, and he's really interested. I'll help you out because I want to get qualified as an executive. We'll put him under you, Pete, okay? So you got John. John knows a couple of people. He gets Greg in, and he gives Greg Susan. It can come in any way, guys, as long as vertically there are 4 active associates qualified underneath you. What's an active associate? They've registered on Trivia Mogul. They have signed the appropriate associate agreement, And any one of these associates could be a player associate as well. They don't just have to be business development associates, okay? Any combination of. And they've ordered cards, which is absolutely mandatory, one time, because we want them to represent us professionally. Then he has his one team, I like to call it. You know, you can call it a leg if you want, but I call it teams. These are 4 teams we're looking at in this example. He has his one team that is 4 vertically deep of active associates. Ding, ding, ding. That now qualifies Bob as an executive associate. What does that do? That triggers for Bob. Now he's going to be paid out on all of his teams, 4 levels deep, the 100% first level, 50% second, 25 third, 10 fourth, across as wide as Bob has teams. So in this example, there's only 4. But if Bob had 100 teams wide, he would be earning commissions on 100 teams wide up to 4 deep if each of those teams did go 4 deep. Okay, if it goes 100 deep in Pete's team here, he's only getting paid 4 levels deep, not 100 levels. We are not network marketing. We are not affiliate marketing, so there's no unlimited levels and indefinite or infinity or whatever you want to call it. This is what it is, but this is incredibly powerful and incredibly lucrative. And I would challenge anybody to find a comp plan that ties all this together, especially when we get to Mini Bid Mogul in a second, that has the potential to produce what this is going to produce. So, okay, I think that covers very, very clearly, and again, if it doesn't, we'll take questions at the end, how to qualify as an executive. And Frank has strategies he'll go through when I'm through with these examples of how you want to approach this in a couple different ways. Okay, so what can I earn as an executive associate? Well, in these projected earnings examples, what I did at the top, when I say organizations, I just simply took the business development rep we started with a couple of slides ago. And if you remember, from his single effort with those 4 businesses, 2 charities, 2 businesses, he was earning $27,000 a month. So now that he's qualified as an executive, Bob, let's say, he's still earning that 27. Of course, that's going to fluctuate, right? But it is residual. He's got those businesses and charities rolling. So this is going to keep coming in, and hopefully on those 4 and others he brings in just keep rising. So this 27 is going to keep growing, right? Now, he enrolls a few associates because he's starting to, you know, I got some people who can do this, and I think they'd want to make some money and help out some charities. And they, you know, I know a guy who's got, you know, association with 25 sports bars. So Bob puts in a little bit of work. He goes and enrolls 3 associates. And associate 1 goes and gets an organization that brings in 1,000 players. So let's say it's a sports bar. Associate 2 gets a charity with 500 players, and associate 3 brings in another huge sports bar with 2,000 players. Well, those 3 associates, look at what they're going to be earning. They're going to start developing a nice income for themselves every 30 days. But because Bob is qualified as an executive now, he's getting a 50% match on his first level, or excuse me, first level is 100%. Second level, where these associates enrolled these businesses, is a 50% match, right? If we go back to that last slide. So he's getting a 50% match on what associate 1 is making. So out of the 7,500, 3,750. Associate 2 is earning 3,750 from his sports bar. Bob is making 1,875 because he's direct to Bob. Associate 3 brought in a big sports bar, making a big payday here, $15,000 a month. Bob, from enrolling him personally and having that business direct to this associate 3, that's $7,500. So now what is Bob's commissions for the month looking like? Over $40,000, because that's 27 plus his 50% match on these 3 businesses, $40,000, or a 52% increase from just introducing our platform to 3 people. Look what it did to his income, okay? Now again, this goes with the assumptions. We're 10,000 and growing daily. All points are gifted for charities. And again, this solid number, once we hit those numbers, of 25 cents per player for every 10 to 15 to 20 minutes, okay? There's some good math. All right. Now, you add in Mini Bid Mogul, okay? This equals this. It's just a pure cash machine, guys. And I hope you all start to understand. We'll do some more trainings on Monday nights on Mini Bid Mogul, so it starts to sink in. Mini Bid Mogul is the first of its kind. It is an instant win auction game. So the clock, you gotta get this, wrap your minds around this. The clock doesn't really matter. Okay, it does in a sense because you don't want to let it go down too far if no one else is bidding and the instant win number hasn't been hit yet, right? You have a chance to win it right then and there. But because these items are going to be going so fast and furious on Mini Bid Mogul, you don't want to wait. You don't want to sit back like a typical auction. Let's see how it's going to play out. Where's it going to go? Who's bidding what? How many people are going at it right now? You don't want to do that. It's instant win. So it could be the 4th bid, the 18th bid, the 26th bid, the 59th bid. But the point is, use those game bids. Knock them out because those prizes are going to be won quickly. And it's designed for prizes to be won inexpensively. I don't want to say cheap because we don't have cheap items. Inexpensively, so we're burning through items, which allows us to put on big ticket items more often that will also go inexpensively. Okay? So when this happens, and I'm going to back out of this for a second and take you over to Mini Bid Mogul and show you what I mean by this. So here we are on Mini Bid Mogul. I can't bid against myself, so I'll go to another item. Show you an example. Now, this is really going to come into effect when you've qualified as an executive or a player associate. So you're getting an override on those 4 levels, right? So if I come in here, I place a retail bid because this Best Buy gift card is only retail bids. It's going to take a little bit, or did it populate already? I think it did. Look at what that generated up here. 6,457 gift points. That's a lot for just one bid, okay? When I gift those points, whoever, if you think of it, whoever enrolled me, of course it's Derek, but think of yourself or your team when you've got people below and you bidding on the auction, and they go gift those points to a charity, and that charity is tied to you, or that business, or excuse me, that charity is tied to you. That's going to result in a lot more points, and we know points are what? Currency, dollars. They have a value. They have a monetary value, right? That is going to blow up your commission points being qualified as an executive or a player associate. When your team is on Mini Bid Mogul, they don't have to win for you to benefit. They just have to bid. Okay, so let me pick another item. Well, these are retail. If somebody's on Mini Bid Mogul right now, can you bid against me on the executive card holder? And I'll show you what I mean in terms of a game bid. Derek, if you're on or you're listening, bid against me here. Somebody. Come on. Here we go. Thank you, Ryan. Appreciate it. So now I'm going to do a game bid, right? I hit bid, and you see those points went up. Now, it certainly wasn't 6,000 points, right? Oh, here we go. We got some bidders. I like it. It wasn't 6,000 points. It was, I don't know, I think it was 40 or 50 or 60. So obviously not as much as a retail bid, but still additional points that are all going to roll up from your team up to you, right, because of that connection. So that's the thing to understand is for something like this, you got a bunch of game bids, come on here, you want that item, go get it. You know, start a little bid war because it's going to be won by that magic bid number, whatever it is for that item, right? That's random. But it's not meant for the clock to go down to 0. It's meant for this prize to be won quickly. So as we're burning through these prizes, as this thing gets going, right, we're going to have a lot of items being won, and it's going to start to go viral. People are going to come in. They're going to play solitaire more. They're going to play trivia more. Why? Because they want to win more game bids to come on here and bid. And then if they see an item they really want, they're going to buy some retail bids right up here in the store, and retail bids are going to just, like I said, let me go back to the presentation now. They're going to light this up like a cash machine. That's what Mini Bid Mogul represents for us. And that's why you definitely want to qualify yourself as either a player associate or an executive and take advantage of all that that's going on underneath you without you even knowing it's going on. Just a beautiful thing. Okay. Awesome. Ryan, Derek is going to give you 25 game bids for helping out. Appreciate that. Okay, let's keep rolling. Let's go to player associate, our last associate position. So what do you have to do to be a player associate? Or better yet, what is a player associate? A player associate is someone who comes into our organization who, again, in the beginning, has no intention of going after charities, businesses, white labels, or celebrities. That's not their thing, but they love playing games, especially when it's free, right, which our platform is. They fall in love with our platform, and man, they start sharing like crazy. They go after their network of gamers, let's say, their book club, their forums they're in, wherever they are, they're bringing in people because they just can't believe what we've got here, and they've got to share it with people. Now, when they understand, they can start earning an income from just having a group of people enrolled with them that they brought into this. They're going to want to do a little extra effort, and again, Frank's going to go over some strategies here at the end of becoming a player associate. So it's the same as a business development rep going to an executive, right? It's 4 levels underneath them in just one team. They may have 25 teams because they brought in a lot of people, right? But it's just one where they've got a few people who are thinking just like them. Hey, I can take this out to my network, and I love this, and I'd like to earn an income and pay for my car payment, and I'll show you that in a second, how easy this can be. So I'm going to get 4 people who are going to sign a player, number one, register on Trivia Mobile, sign a player associate agreement, and then order their business cards. 4 people who do that, and we get the 100%, the 50%, the 25, the 10, just like the executive associate, no different on that. And then it opens up triggering commissions on all of this player associates. Again, if he brought in 25 people wide because he went crazy with it, and they're all direct to him, that's a 100% match on those 25 people. Plus, if those teams start going deep, up to 4 levels, as you see. So that's that. So let's talk about what a player associate can earn. Let's do some math on this projected example as well. So like I said in the prior slide, this player associate went out because he's so excited, loves our platform, our suite of games. He gets 25 people in his first month under him directly, signed them all up himself, and they're playing 10 to 15 minutes a day, and they're gifting their points, and they're having a ball, right? And they're winning all kinds of stuff, and they're bidding on Mini Bid Mogul, and that's adding to his income. Now he's earning $187.50 a month, or she, from this effort just because they love the game, and that's paying for their car. That's a car payment right there, just from that effort. And a gamer, typically they they get a lot more people than this, but let's just use that as a starting example. Now, through the course of the player associate sharing this game, he comes across one person, just one, a business development associate number 1, I'm calling them, who wants to go get charities and businesses and celebrities and white label partners because they get it and they have that drive and desire. Well, because of this one associate that now signs up as a business development associate under that player associate, they go in and get 3 organizations that bring in these players. So this business development associate, based on our key assumptions at the bottom, starts earning a very healthy income based on these 3 businesses. Well, because this player associate is qualified as a player associate, and the business development rep was personally enrolled by the player associate, they're going to get a 50% match on that business development associate and the businesses they enroll. So the $7,500 becomes $3,750 to him or her. The $3,750 becomes $1,875, and the $15,000 becomes $7,500. So what does that do to their let me just finish this one point, Frank. So that takes their car payment that they just earned, to over $13,000 a month from getting one person interested in doing what a business development associate does. Okay, Frank, go ahead.
I wanted to make the clarification point that you verified with Derek. When a nonprofit or a business register, because the business and the nonprofit technically aren't really playing much, they're a level that's kind of killed by themselves, the comp plan skips them, gentlemen and women and ladies. Very exciting. So in other words, BDA 1 is under you. That normally would be the 100% level, right? And then the charity goes under them, that'd be the 50% level. And then under the charity is 25%. Well, he's created a skip so that that charity that's below the person under you, the charity doesn't take up that level. So now you're getting paid 50% on the players under the charity instead of losing that 50% because the charity was taking a spot. I think that's really an important clarification and a massive increase in revenue for our group.
Excellent. Thank you, my good man. So as you can see, going from a car payment to a life-changing income, right? That's ridiculous. I mean, the percentage increase is so high, you can't even compute it. And you can probably hear my dogs in the background. I apologize for that. They're a little excited over this comp plan. Okay. Let us go. So again, and just to reiterate the point, for a player associate, because they've qualified to be paid at that level, the mini bid mogul and all the bidding and all that happens on this mini cash machine rolls upward to that player associate as well. And I just wanted to tie that in. So those numbers I just shared on the prior screen will get even bigger as a result of what we have here, the first and only instant win auction site, mini bid mogul. Okay, that is what I had. So Frank, you direct me on where you want me to go.
All right, let me unmute. That was excellent. And yes, those puppies in the background heard about this pay plan and they're going nuts. Oh dear, I have to tell you, gang, when I heard that Derek had actually programmed this thing to have that skip, I just thought, wow, here he goes again. And yes, for those of you that are worried about the business, he has calculated it works out fine. So there's plenty of money. He's just sharing more of what's coming in with the people that are making it happen. That's the way he sees it. We're his army getting players. And every time players play, we make money. Every time they go to mini bid mogul, we make money. We have it set up that's all profitable. He's even set up an algorithm so that the program will actually rotate the number of awards and such in the right timing so that there's always profitability, but it'll maximize it for the player and make sure that we're not overdoing what we should be doing. And you got to love it when you're working with a genius. So let's go to the first one I sent you, Russ, with the
is that the right one?
That's the exact one I was thinking of. I couldn't remember what I called it.
Perfect.
So, gentlemen and ladies, this is just a visual to make it a little bit easier. The suggestion that we're making and the way we've set this up is that when somebody comes into the program and they're a player associate or a business development associate, then they've got 30 days to get this team together where we can actually move things around for them. So what we suggest everybody does is don't sit around trying to figure out who's the best, where, whatever, because that causes hesitation and it causes slow. We don't want slow, we want fast. We want people getting people playing. Remember, did I remind you guys this thing's free? So here's what you do. You bring them in, and as you can see on the top, you've got all those blue dots going from left to right at the 100% level. You're at the top. Some of them are Ps, meaning that along the way of getting players to play the game, you've got a P on the far left. That's a player associate. You've got another one a little farther to the left. Right underneath you, there's one. And then, but these are all directly underneath you. Okay, so these are all front line to you, so to speak. And then way over on the right, you see there's an A there. That's a business development associate. So you talk to somebody that said, I'd like to do nonprofits, and you got them to do an interview and then sign the contract and buy the card. So they're all set and they're up and running. So now once 30 days goes by, or less than 30 days, you don't have to wait the whole 30 days. But as soon as you get your bearings on who you got that are player associates, you can then call Russ or myself and say, I'd like to move my people now. And you can take those player associates, assuming you've got people that don't have people. This is assuming you just want to build your own 4D. So you take player associate to the left of you, zip, he goes underneath you because he looks like he's a big producer. The one on the way far left, he's probably going to be pretty good too, so you put him next. The next one, just a friend. They have a few people that they want to share it with, and they'll probably do okay, but they're going to go next. And then the last one, maybe they're just a family member that want to be a player associate. They're not even sure if they're going to qualify. Zip, 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 done. Now you have 4. Folks, now as a business development associate, if you have that in line like this, you've just now qualified for all the overrides. That makes you an executive associate. If you were a player associate and you just did what I said, you would still be a player associate, but you'd be a qualified player associate. So just in case you were wondering, that's the difference in the terms. An executive associate is a way of designating a business development associate that qualifies for these extra overrides. And a player associate is just simply a qualified player associate. All right, so there's no different term for them when they get there. So that's how easy that is. Now, obviously, it'd be even easier if you had somebody over on the far left and he had one player associate under him. Well, then great. When you slide him down, that just took up 2 of your spots. Once you've done that, you just keep building, you know, your team sideways. You keep adding people as close to you as you can. That's the theory behind it. You want to get, because why? They're signing up people to play the game, and that level right below you, you get a 100% match on what they play. The level below that, you're going to get a 50% match. The level below that, you're going to get a 25% match, and the last level is 10%. So obviously, you want to keep them as close to you as possible while you're building out sideways. Now, I want to mention one other thing, folks. This is huge. Once you've qualified, this is not network marketing. You are networking, but it's not network marketing. And here's one of the reasons why. When those 4 people sign their contract and buy their cards, you're qualified for life. There's no auto ship. There's no extra. You know how people drop off? There's a certain amount of attrition. Well, granted, there may be some people that play the game and stop playing the game. But you don't lose attrition for qualification. You are qualified forever. I mean, what if the person stops playing the game? Well, right now we don't have a requirement for people to play the game to be active. Guess what? Once they buy their cards, you're covered. Now it's just how many players can you get playing the game? Through businesses, through whatever we can do, and that will generate this income. So I thought that was important you could see that. And also the concept, we have a 30-day time frame from the day that you register as a player associate or a business development associate. You have 30 days to finalize the moves. And then anything that happens after that, you're just going to have to put somebody down, if you need that 4th person. They'd actually have to register right under them. Okay? Does that make sense? Did I cover that okay, Russ?
Yeah, can you hear me?
I know you're muted out.
Sorry, I was muted. Yes, that
Yep.
perfect sense.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, perfect. So now let's go on to the second scenario. The second scenario really refers to businesses. And when you're looking at the business, our concept is this. Right out of the gate, we don't even want the business to sign a contract if they're not going to put their staff and enroll them immediately. Not interested. This is a free program. They're going to make a lot of money. We walk away from those folks if we don't get that buy-in. Why? They're going to have signs up. Who in the world would want to have one of their employees be asked a question about what's this game thing and what it's about, and them go, I don't know. Not what we're looking for. Definitely not going to work. We already know if they don't sign up their staff, it won't work. So we don't need to sign that contract and go through all the headache because, quite honestly, we already know that's going to fail miserably. So we get the staff signed up. They're all signed up laterally. There is no other option there. They say, hey, I know so-and-so and I want to work with them. Can they be on my team? No. Nope, nope, nope. Why? That goes for a nonprofit as well. If they're in a church organization, lateral right underneath the church. Why? Because then you got people, I was talking to so-and-so first, and then you got them at work. You don't want derision in the workplace, right? Everyone's on the same playing field. Talk to your customers, have them sign up and play the game, they go underneath you. So that's the way we do the staff. Now, once in this case, the business, you're picturing that all these staff people are signing up lots of people. So under there, you look at this one staff member, I've got 5 under there. I did it this way so that, because it's just easier to visualize, they're blowing the doors off of everybody else. That's kind of the concept. They're out there really making this happen. Now, my suggestion is don't explain the player associate program to the business up front. There's 2 reasons for that. One, it will be a benefit for the employees, but the employer may think it's going to be a distraction. Remember, this is all new to them. Second, as soon as they hear this, they'll think possibly that it's network marketing, and it's not. And once they think that, it's really hard to convince them that it's not the case, even though, because they usually don't know much about it, except it sure sounds like one of those. So we don't want to introduce that in the beginning. What we talk about is your sales staff comes in, and they get their own cards, and when they get their cards, we're calling them fundraisers. I love that, because they're probably going to help you fundraise for some charity, but in case they're not pushing that point, it's still fundraisers. So that was Russ's idea for a play on words. I absolutely love it. So now this guy's blowing the doors off all the other people. And at this point, I'd go into the business owner and I'd say, I have another way to help motivate your staff to do this with the ones that are going to care. Do you mind if I talk to one of them about being a player associate? They'll have to get qualified with people outside of your business, but the people that they sign up under your business, they'll actually be able to make some money on those people that are playing. And here's the best part, Mr. Business Owner. If they ever quit and leave your job, they're out there promoting this game and you're still making money on their efforts, even though they're not working for you anymore. You got to love that. And guaranteed income from an employee, no matter how long they, even if they retire, you get income coming in from them. So you get the okay from the business. Say, yeah, sure, go ahead, talk to them about that. Say, hey, I'd like to tell you a little bit about Player Associate. Here's the deal. You sign this contract, you buy cards once, and pretty much you're done. Now you just got to get 4 other Player Associates outside of the walls of this building, and you're qualified, and you're going to start making money on everybody that's playing the game, even though they're people that you got through your business, working for your business. So there's a secondary way to motivate them so they get even more excited about doing this, and then maybe they start bringing in their friends. Now, each business may be a case-by-case, but I always suggest not teaching them the whole plan first. Too much going on their very busy minds, and it will overwhelm them. Remember how it was for you. After you had already understood the compensation for business development program, and then all of a sudden you learned there's this other one, wow, it was so big, and then it started making you wonder does that mean, the business may think, okay, so if I don't have my 4 employees as player associates and I don't make money either, like it's just an easy place to get a lot of confusion. So in the beginning, you keep it real simple. By the way, it's free. Your staff will sign up or we won't sign the contract. And but here's the best part, we'll help you train them. We'll help work with them and help them understand what this is. Playing the game will help them understand faster than anything else. And then we have these cool cards they can order and so forth. So that's the concept behind the business. A nonprofit is pretty much the same way. When they get their generals up and running, what we're telling them is we're asking you, because they don't know about the player associate program, suggest to them that instead of having everybody register directly into the business, that they register using their user referral name, which actually I don't have it written down here, and I should have it memorized. Prize redemption code, I think, is one of the options that it's going to be called, and when they go to register, it's going to say referral ID or prize redemption code. And that's the reason you want that is we want to be able to track how well you're doing in helping your business. It makes it easier for us to know who's making it happen and who isn't. your company wants it that way, and that's the best way to do it. Now, yes, the company will make 50% on those people rather than 100%, but they'll know who's doing it and who's not, and in the end, it's going to motivate them because, quite honestly, there's some other benefits that will be coming they're just automatically going to help the staff want to share this. So I think you're going to find that's the best way to do it, and now they're already signed up under the staff, and so when you introduce the player associate program, they'll go, oh man, I got 300 people signed up in the last 2 months, and they're all directly under the business, dagnabbit. This way they don't have the panic. The other part is, who do you approach? Who's really knocking it out? Well, you don't know if they're signing them up directly under the business. You haven't signed them up under them. And, you know, and the business will understand that. Eventually the business will say, well, if I don't make as much money doing that, why would I want to do it? And the answer is it's better to get 50% of a lot than 100% of nothing. And that's the problem. You will get 100% of nothing if your staff's not engaged. That's just the way it works, because they're the ones out there talking to your customers every day. So did I miss anything on that, Russ?
No, that was perfect. I just want to add a couple things, and Rich Yeager had a good question too, which ties into where I want to go. So to continue on what Frank is saying, laid out the strategy perfect. You know, all staff directly under the business eliminates all kinds of issues later on down the line. The other thing too is when you have 1 or 2 or 10 staff members going crazy with this, having 50 to 100 to 300 people underneath them, you're going to see that, right? And you go back, like Frank said, and you approach them, and yeah, I'd love to make money. Well, here's some simple qualifiers. So you say, well, where's that staff member going to get 4 people or 3, because he could pick any one of his legs that already has 1 and add 3 people under them. Where's he going to go get 3 people? Well, let me tell you, if this staff member is signing up hundreds of people under them in this business and loves our games, they're not going to have a problem approaching somebody to get 3 more people outside of the business. So I wouldn't spend too much time worrying about that if you were. Second, let me go over here and show you in the associate store. Sign in. The card, oh, look at that. You got to be kidding me. It's not letting me sign in. Come on. There we go. I was trying to help somebody else and I had their password in there. Okay, business cards. Here's a card Frank was talking about, and it is the Fun, F-U-N, Razor card. Why do we do that? Well, number one, they're promoting a game in their establishment, right? So it's fun. It better be fun. That's what we're promoting is fun, a fun free game. And they raise fun instead of raising something else, right? Now, where this can also lead to is just a conversation starter. Well, how do you raise fun? Well, let me tell you. And then, bam, you take out your phone. I'm going to show you how we raise fun. Now, they can also tie into this as they're talking to them. We also help fundraise. And let me show you that. We're tied into this charity here locally. And when you play, you're going to win all kinds of stuff and do all this, but you're also going to get gift points. What we ask you is when you're done playing for the day, before you log out, gift those points right over to, and let me show you where this charity is, and have them play around, and you do it right then and there. So they've got the process down and it's in their mind. Easy peasy. So that's why we went with fundraiser. Now the point of the cards is, on the cards, that staff member will have their prize redemption code right there, which will be their username. So whatever it is, could be fundraiser, could be whatever. And the three simple steps to register and get playing will be on the back. So the point is they can be handing these cards out. These are tools to get people signed up. And Rich was asking, do the businesses have to order cards in order to be involved with something software? No, they don't have to order cards, but I would certainly recommend it because this is going to tie in with the table tents that they're currently in development, guys. We've got a great designer on board. She's working feverishly to get these materials done and up in the store. You'll see some great progress on that early next week. But so the staff member walks up to the table. She references the table tent. Oh, yeah, we've got this suite of games. They're free. They're unbelievable. They're awesome. She takes out a little card. Take out your phone. I'm going to get you going here. We'll get a round played, and trade out gift points, help charities. You know, it's bam. It's like all one-stop shopping, just tied in perfectly. So I wanted to call that particular point out and answer Rich's question. Back to you, sir.
Excellent. Now, as you know, in the nonprofit arena, is a lot less that's needed for materials. The business arena, there will be more materials that are needed because they're a retail establishment. You want things to reference that people ask about, but also to be able to point to, because as they're talking about this game, especially if they're using their own user ID, you want to make it really clear the game's real and they didn't just bring it in and their boss doesn't know, and you know, it validates everything that will be going on. This does, if they do order these cards, folks, that does qualify them as a player associate, as far as if they say, yeah, I want to be one, they sign a contract and it's done. They've already ordered the cards. So they don't have to order another set of cards that say player associate. They're just always going to be a fundraiser, because that works better in their environment, and it makes them makes the people that they're handing them out to understand.
Yes.
There may be a couple of different options for cards that we can give that may also help to generate a little bit of momentum, and we'll go over some of that in the future trainings. Is there anything else you can think of, Russ, that I need to talk about as far as strategizing? I've lost my
I think we covered it all pretty well. I'm going to start opening up to questions now. We got one from Denise. Denise says, can all players play Mini Bid Mogul or just associates? No, the world can get on here and play. And that's the point, is we're going to start from very shortly here from a company standpoint, advertising on the net as well, bringing people into our suite of games, because now that we've got them complete, we've got my phone is ringing, sorry. Now that we've got them complete, we've got the bugs worked out. And by the way, speaking of bugs, Derek wanted me to let you guys know, I know a lot of you guys are trying to pay for items right now on Mini Bid Mogul for things you've won, and it's not letting you. And that's not you or your computer. That's an issue with us, and it's being fixed right now from the programming team. Please wait till Monday morning to go in and pay for that, because you do have 7 days for any item you want. So don't worry about that. It is a company issue. Prizes can still be won during this process. They just can't be paid for until Monday morning, and they'll get that fixed. So I did want to let you know that. But no, back to Denise's question. No, this is open to the entire world, and we're going to start telling the entire world. And that's, you know, from an advertising point of view across the net, to us as associates out there sharing it with people, to businesses and charities we brought in sharing it with people. Mini Bid Mogul is for everybody. And if you think about it, it's going to be the best place to shop on the internet for great quality items really inexpensively. That's what it comes down to, and that's the point. When we roll a business, you say matching.
Can I comment on that for a minute?
Sure.
Because I don't think everybody's, this is so new for everybody. You need to map this out. Right now, Russ, what are we paying? $10 for 100 retail bids?
I believe so. Where's Mini?
Okay.
Let's see.
So we got this big discount, $10 for 100 bids.
Right here.
Roughly, that's 10 cents a bid, right?
Yes.
So when you use a bid, you'll notice that you get all these points that you get to gift, but you also get 10 cents off on the retail store. So folks, it's not an auction where you're gambling. And all rats, I spent $50 on bids. Same thing. If you spent $50 on bids, you made $50 of credit towards the store, and you can go buy something that you like. So this is shopping entertainment, folks. You may get something really cheap, and if you don't, you go buy something you want. It's absolutely fantastic. When you look at it that way, you don't have a whole lot to lose if you were planning on buying something that was in our store anyway. Does that make sense?
Sorry, I'm reading questions, and Derek is just pounding me here in a good way. I'm trying to keep up. Okay, Derek is letting me know that our lead programmer found the bug error, so it could be corrected sooner than Monday morning. Derek, if you can give me a time frame on that, if it changed, let me know. And the move allowed in the first 30 days after the associate signs up, or 30 from the time we signed up. From when the associate signed up. Okay? So just think of it. So if you just got involved with us and you want to go for executive, just think of yourself as having a 30-day window. And don't wait, like Frank said, get everybody you want involved in this, get them signed up, and then let it sort out for 30 days and see what makes sense for you and your organization at that point. I think that's the best way to go about it. Okay. I just got way too many notes here, Derek. Let's see. Hang on. You're going to have to bear with me. These someone's typing really long questions, and it's tough to see.
As you're looking at the questions, I'll just add one more thing to that. Sometimes, gang, if you're out there with player associates, they may get talking to other player associates and not have to move anybody. They may have 4 or 5 people. They may have somebody get in. Picture they've got 20 sideways, but 5 of the ones that are sideways are finding player associates who are finding player associates. They may end up with 4 underneath them just because they've got 4 people that are actually talking to people and getting excited about being player sales.
Okay. Ryan said, can we make options for college kids who maybe can't afford $65 and make it lesser than $500? We've already checked that out, Ryan, and what happens is the price of the cards, when you take it down to $250, whatever, it really doesn't move the price all that much. So it wouldn't be a dramatic savings. I would say come to me in those circumstances, and maybe there's something we can do in terms of helping them out with a store credit in some cases where budget really is an issue. Okay. 30 days, we got that one covered. Brenda here, take a look while the fun places. Took me a while to find place to sign in. Oh, okay. Oh man, I'm just getting pelted. If a player associate trips over a charity or business, can they not sign up and benefit from it?
I can answer that.
Go for it.
I think I understand the concept. So somebody's out there and they just go, wow, this is great. I found this nonprofit, they want to come in. If they're a player associate, the answer is no, they can't sign them up. But if they interview and they want to be a business development associate, we can go ahead and interview them and change their depiction from player associate to business development associate. If not, they filter it up to you if you're the one that was working with them. And then maybe what you do is register the business under them, and you get your normal, if you're bringing it in alone, let's say, you get your 100% match on everything that's gifted to them if they're a nonprofit. And if they're a player associate that's qualified, they get a 100% match on all the people that are signed up under the business. So they'll still get money as a player's associate. But we don't want to make people, no one can talk to them directly unless they've interviewed and we know they're going to be a good representative. And sure, they brought us that deal. But if that's all they're going to bring us, that's not what a business development associate is supposed to be. It's really more of a sales force rather than a networking person. You follow? That's the concept here. Is we're a professional organization of people that are working. Obviously, they're not employees of the company; they're associates. But we're running it that way. Okay. Does that make sense? Is that
yes?
You agree with that, Russ?
Yes, and Tim, just type a message back if that didn't answer your question. Denise has, when we enroll a business and you say matching first level, do you mean matching points on every point a business earns, or just their first level as a result of their front line? First level as a result of their front line, that's the way the program is for businesses. If you look in the business development agreement, it's 150, et cetera, et cetera. So the business's first level is the matching. That's the 100%. Okay, and if a business is doing it, you know, when you look at Frank's example, let's see if I can get the right one. Yeah, staff. So the staff playing will be the 100% match to you, and then the 50% match to you will be what the staff signs up. And that's, even though you may look at that and say, well, I'm losing 50% because of the staff signing up under the business, you're really going to be gaining, because we're not accepting the contract, or the, not contract, agreement, unless they're in with this way of doing it, right? So you know the staff is going to move. Some are going to move faster and better than others. That's fine. That's just the way business works. Life works that way. So as a result, your income is dramatically going to grow because you have an engaged staff, as opposed to just relying on signs or table tents to sign people up. That will happen, but the percentage will be very small as compared to a motivated staff. So hopefully that answers your question, Denise. Does a business have to buy marketing materials out of pocket, or can they deduct from future earned revenue? At this time, they cannot deduct from future earned revenue. That may be an option we add in the future. That's just programming and additional costs. So you as an associate can decide to pay for those materials for them, depending on the agreement you make with them and the potential, or they can pay for them themselves. Is this being recorded? Yes, absolutely. And Rich also asked, he wanted me to go through the cards one more time. Let me get there. Oops. To cover the fundraiser cards one more time. First of all, this would be cards that the business would order for the staff if they want to do it. Again, Rich, they do not have to order cards in order to be involved with us in something software and earn money as a business. Okay, if they choose to go this route, which I think is very smart, they'll want to order the cards, and the name on the card will be the name of that staff member. Okay, you know, Debbie. Debbie's handing out her cards. Hey, I'm a fundraiser, blah, 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 and everything we just talked about a few minutes ago. So hopefully that clarifies that. Someone is registered with a charity and wants to be an associate. What do I do? Who's it? Phil. Frank, can you answer that while I'm rifling through these?
What was the question?
Phil says, if someone has registered with a charity and wants to be an associate, what do I do?
Well, if they want to be a business development associate and they've registered, I'm assuming by registered with a charity you mean they're a player under a charity, then you just simply go through the same process. If you feel comfortable with them representing us, then you reach out to Russ or I. We do an interview. We ask them a little bit about their background, what they're doing, why they want to do this, explain a little bit about the program. If we feel comfortable, great. He fills out a business development associate agreement. He buys a set of cards. He's up and running. He would still be under your charity at that point, under the charity at that point. And Russ, I guess in that case, if somebody pops up and if the charity is you know, a level below you, I don't know if it's that important that they slide up underneath you or not. Yeah, quite honestly, if they were directly underneath you, there would be a better financial picture for that. I'm thinking out loud, obviously. The other side of that is they can still gift to the charity organization, so moving them wouldn't be a problem. We might be able to talk about that on a case-by-case basis and whether we can move them closer to you. If you're the one that's working with them, you're kind of a sales team. But either way, I think they will benefit from being the associate, and then if they bring businesses in, you'll be getting overrides through the executive associate program. You'll get overrides on the people that they bring in under their nonprofits.
Derek is chiming in, and he said it would have no effect to charity. The benefit is the guy who's going to build.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think from a case-to-case basis, we'd probably want to benefit you since it wouldn't hurt the charity to have them moved.
Correct. Because they're still, you know, directing people to give to that charity. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Guys, we've gone 4 past the hour here. We didn't intend it to go this long, but this has been good. These have been good questions. Hopefully it brings a lot of clarity to what we're doing here and the opportunity that we have for everybody. If you've got any last minute questions, go ahead and type them in now, or we'll start to wrap this up. Frank, any last words of wisdom or anything to share?
Yeah, I just want to tell everybody on this call, folks, just going out and getting charities and businesses can be a massive amount of income for the average bear. We've already used numbers using the 25-cent rule. When we have 10,000 people playing, we should be earning, or the nonprofit should be earning, if all points are gifted, at least 25 cents per person that plays for 10 to 20 minutes. So 100 people equals $750 a month if they play every single day and gift all their points. Now, guys, just take that out. You get 10 organizations that just have 100 people playing. That's a big number. That's easily a salary. But for Derek to have gone a step further and create a secondary way to do this by creating this additional executive associate income is really phenomenal. It's almost like you get to double dip on what you've actually created. And part of it's because you have networked. You have brought more value to the company. You've brought more people that are bringing in people. Remember, a player associate is really a player salesman. They're out there enrolling salesmen. The only reason you don't have to call them a salesman is by the way that I mentioned, it's free. So they're gathering players. We also know in some of these numbers, please keep in mind, the numbers for income are going to vary because every day there's a different number of players. There's going to be attrition. There's some people who play the game won't come back. That happens. And as we move forward, we will be able to help you with your business plan as we look to see. We should be doubling and tripling and quadrupling the amount of people that come back to the game because of the suite and how well it's all put together. There's just going to be a massive amount of increase of people wanting to stay there. It's a lot more fun, and it's a lot smoother. But beyond that, once we know the actual numbers, then we can make a business plan, say, well, here's how many places you have to bring with how many players that with this much attrition, so that in a year you've got this much money coming in all the time. And because of Derek's awesome algorithm, there's always going to be as many random winners as possible. Folks, that is so huge. You get people to come back for 30 days. The concept of doing a fundraiser with a nonprofit, and they go 60 days where they get commitment. Just come back every day. You get people hooked because they're going to win. If they keep playing for 60 days, eventually they're going to win something. Randomly, the odds are in their favor. The longer they play and the more they play, the more likely it is they're going to win something. And as soon as they win something, guarantee you, if they have a choice of a free game or a free game where they won something, they're coming back, at least for 10 to 20 minutes a day. And so now you increase your player base. It comes back over and over again. So it becomes a true residual income. Very, very exciting. As I wrap my head around the vision Derek had in the beginning, and to see this all coming together, it's just really, really exciting. And it's just fun to be working with you guys and helping you establish a direction where you're really going to be making money.
And guys, just so you know, Frank does not drink caffeine. That's just pure adrenaline right there. I'm just having a little fun.
That is true. There is no caffeine.
Hey,
healthy.
Derek wanted me to call out what's showing on the slide here. This is an associate retail bid pack sample for $10. You get 100 retail bids, and this is only going to be up to get you guys kind of started and maybe gearing up for that 60-inch big screen HD TV. This is only going to be up through Monday night's webinar and training, which starts at 9 p.m. 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So, and he's also saying there's a better strategy if you're looking to just buy $100 worth of bids. He's saying there's a better value to buying 10 of these. There's no limit. So you can just add right here, add the quantity. So I want to buy 10 packs of these at 100 because you're going to get more, I guess, more retail bids than if you just buy the $100 pack. So he wanted me to let everybody know that. Derek, if there's anything else you want me to call out before we wrap this up. Yeah, only till Monday, 9 p.m. Load up now. Store credit can be used as well. Yes, indeed. Yep, got it. Okay, I don't see anything else. I think this covered quite a bit. Hopefully it became crystal clear with you, the kind of money that can be earned here, and you can share this with your network. And let's start bringing in a ton of qualified associates. You're welcome, Rich. Thank you, Jan. And let's get this party started. Party's already started. Let's bring them to the party. They're going to have fun. They're going to have a ball. So thank you for your attention, your efforts. We appreciate you all. Have a great weekend. And remember, keep bidding and keep playing. Take care, everybody.
Good job, Russ.
Thanks, Frank. You too, man. Thanks, Derek.